All right. Today, I got my brother Eli Keep Drillin. Welcome to another episode of Off the Clock with Powder Slayer. And today, we're just going to kind of go over with Eli about what got him started on the TikTok realm, social media, and just an all around dope dude. Eli, welcome.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for your time.
Uh, Yeah. So, what are you up to today? What are you doing?
Nothing. Had to get 4 units on really quick. Didn't know they were down. They called me at 1 in the morning. I was thinking there was 1 unit down, but I guess that's what happens when you rely on that instead of just coming out.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, being busier is better than not.
That's right, for sure, definitely, man.
Yeah. So, what are you guys looking like for the holiday week? What do they got you guys going?
Man, I'm actually working all of December. Believe it or not, like every single day. I barely got back. I took all of November off for my newborn, so that was fun. But now it's time to come make money, and everybody's off, so it's a great time to make overtime. And I'm home every night, so I really can't complain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. So that's the little difference, I guess, between where I'm at and you're like on the stages of everything, because we kind of ramp down around the holidays,
Okay.
because we're going into like the new year and the new budgets and everything, so people are kind of slowing down a little bit and prepping what's going on. And
Right.
yeah, we have a handful of our rigs out for Continental, and they're busy wanting to push to the end of the year, but then the other rigs are kind of just chilling. And then at the beginning of the new year, then everything's going to kind of go back to the way it was.
Right.
So,
Right. Yes, sir.
yeah. But all right, man. Well, kind of the main thing of what I'm doing with this podcast is just going over with other creators and business owners and asking, what got them started and what getting them where they're at today. And, and you're a little bit different. There's a couple of you guys on here like this, but you guys like embrace the new guys. Our industry, most of the time, it's like, fuck the new guy. I don't want to help him at all. But, you and Cody and George, you guys are kind of taking a different aspect, which I respect a lot. So what got you started? Because you had your first video on TikTok, which cracked me up, but then you've taken a new turn to it and you've blown up. So it's
Right.
been pretty
Right.
cool to see.
Man, honestly, getting into it, I was very nervous. I'm actually like very not. I wouldn't say introverted, but I'm very like a homebody. Like I don't like putting all my personal stuff out there. That's all. I was very. I was kind of nervous about what everybody was gonna say. Is what the reason I didn't want to get started. I always knew I wanted to be on social media. Always wanted to be on YouTube, and maybe be able to retire from it. But I still enjoy my job doing what I'm doing. But I just always felt like you see all these people on YouTube making money, and then they like have these awesome lives, awesome cars, and stuff like that. And it's kind of something I wanted. And you know, I've just always wanted better for myself, and is what I'm trying to say. I didn't know if I wanted to do it on social media because again, I was always worried about what people were gonna say. Luckily, I finally got over that fear, and I said I'm gonna just jump in it head first. If I have 1,000 followers that like to hear me talk, I'm gonna talk like I have a million. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's been very great. It's been a great run, great 3 months that I've been doing it.
Oh, it's crazy how fast you've blown. Well, because Cody, so I first started talking to him, and he's the one that sent me to you.
Oh,
Him and I started talking, and then he was like, "Hey, I got this other guy that's coming up, and he's awesome." And so I've been following you ever since.
heck yeah.
But it's kind of the same thing, dude. It's like so as a kid, I'd always kind of taken videos and been like kind of silly with the camera, but never did anything with it because I mean, I'm 33, so
Okay.
I'm the generation right before YouTube, and so there wasn't anything to really do with it. Um, and then they started coming up and making videos, but I had already gone along the line of like, I'm not. That's not real. I'm not gonna do that. I wanted to be more serious,
Right.
but then, like you said, I started seeing all this money that people were
Yeah.
making online, and I was like,
Right.
damn, I want a piece of that.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, no, there's so much money online. Just somehow you got to figure out how to tap into it, and clearly you've gotten a good line of figuring out. So, like, did you always want to help people out and to get into the oil field? Was that your plan when you started up again, or what?
Man, I didn't know what my plan was. I thought I was just gonna talk about just talk about the oil field. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And just kind of teach people about a lot of stuff. It's kind of harder just because I can't like sit here and record on location exactly what I'm doing. It would
Yeah.
definitely be easier if I could. I'd have a bigger following in my opinion. But I didn't know where I was gonna go with it, man. I just thought I was gonna give maybe financial advice because I'm very financial literate or I say that in my head more than others. But I didn't think it was going to be the oil field. I guess getting people on, but it kind of leaned that way, and people are enjoying it. People are appreciative of it. You know what I mean? Not a lot of people know like you can make this much money out here. A lot of people think you're going to break your back for
Mm-hmm.
14 hours a day for 24 hour or for 14 hours a day for 20 days a week or whatever. You know what I mean? Or 20 days a month. So I want to give a different aspect, man. Like you don't have to go to college. You can come out here and make great money. I dropped out of college myself. I know a lot of people push college, and I knew I wasn't gonna be good going to college. I guess you could say that.
Yeah, it's a my thing with college is like if you're gonna go and get a degree and actually use it, that's cool. But like you got all these people that are getting these degrees for what? The
Right.
the purpose of a degree to them is just to get a piece of paper and
Right.
then oh, you can get a job like I've had managers before. The only reason they're in that management position is because they have a piece of paper. It has nothing to do with the job, but it's like, oh, we know that this person, I guess, is dedicated to one thing and can, that's what I've always heard. But it's just like all that money to get into that degree, and then what does it get? You don't get a job unless you go to the trade schools, and then
Right.
the trade school ships you into the right direction and gets you started. So I've always been, it's the blue collar versus the college debate.
Right.
And
Definitely.
I just, I wish more people weren't afraid of the blue collar. You growing up, they say you need to go to school, you need to do
Yes.
this, you can't work with your hands. And I mean, look at us, brother, working with our hands. And I'm making more money than I would probably confidently say 95% of the people I went to high school with.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
But yeah. So, excuse me. So, do you have like people reaching out to you all the time, or,
Every
what
single.
is,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
oh, just, what is the thing? People are just reaching out for you, just begging for jobs, or like, are people turning it into something when they reach out to you?
Man, honestly, a lot of people have gotten jobs from me just pointing them in the right direction. Like I'm not gonna go talk to my boss and be like, "Hey, I know this guy from TikTok. He wants to
Yeah.
get a job." Like, no, I'm just gonna point him in the right direction. You can leave the horse to water. He has to drink it himself. You know what I mean? And however much
Hmm.
you apply yourself is what you're gonna get out of it. You know, if you apply freaking one job, two jobs a day, I don't think that's enough, in my opinion. If you seriously want to be out here, because there's probably 10,000 more people all across the nation trying to get the same job. Especially if they're seeing my videos. I have over like a million views already, so I
Yeah.
know that 10,000 is actually probably possible what people are applying for from what I'm putting out there. But yeah, they come to my DMs. They're always asking me, "Hey, get me a job, put me on." And I'm like, man, I don't put nobody on. I just help them out the best I can, and I'll reply back to them if they're one of my followers, definitely, because they're helping me out. But if it's just some random person passing by and be like, "Hey, I want a job," and they're never gonna see me again unless somehow I come back up on their For You page. So that's the benefit of following me. I feel like because I'm going to give you a service for following me in a way. But if you're just going to be a passerby, not really supporting me, just seeing my page and moving on, I don't think it's good for me to reply to them. I'm not getting any benefit out of that.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like, so I actually started doing that since on your lives when you said that.
Right,
That's changed the way that I always look at if I get the message, I look if they're following me.
right,
And then if they're following me, then I'll, you know, get into it with them. But, one in the sense of like that tells you that at least that person is putting in a little bit of effort. How easy it is to just click follow. You're invested in this guy, you want to follow along, but if you're not even willing to do that, then why do you want me to tell you, come over here for this job, but you're probably not going to do it anyways because you won't even do this little thing on TikTok?
right.
Because I actually have a bunch of people hit me up as well. And I honestly kind of like the comedy side of it. I want to make people laugh.
Yeah,
If I can help somebody get a job, I mean, I've helped a buddy get a job up here and stuff, but, you know, I just want the comedy side of it, but I see you guys putting in work. You, Cody, and Jorge. It's
heck
pretty
yeah, man.
awesome seeing what you guys are doing.
Heck yeah.
But yeah. So and then uh, oh shoot, I just lost what I was gonna say. Um, did you send people to job fairs and stuff?
Yes. Honestly, I'll be 100% honest with you. From everybody that I've sent or that I know that have gotten back to me about going to the job fairs, probably like only one or two of them have actually gotten jobs. So I'm not. I'd hate to say that job fairs are pointless, but I just haven't been seeing any good traction. But also, it's been towards the end of the year, so I feel like sometimes they're just putting up those job fairs to try to fill spots or maybe have experience. I feel like beginning of the
Yeah.
new year, they're gonna start picking up new guys. They're gonna want to start training because like this time of year, like you have Thanksgiving, Christmas, Christmas Eve, New Year's, everybody's gonna be gone. All the managers never gonna be in the office. So what's the point in hiring somebody, throwing them
Yep.
out there, and you still have to train them? You have to get OQ qualified out here at least. Um, so I just feel like towards the end of the year, it's a really bad time because everybody's gone and nobody's going to really want to train.
Yeah, well, especially with this market that we have going on.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, it's like through the year, it was hard enough to get a job, anyways, let alone at the end of the year, when everything's going on, everybody's out of work, or out of the office and everything. But it's definitely a tough time in the oil field, at least in the workover side. It's not like it has been. Even I've been up here for 3 years now, and it's a little bit more difficult, unfortunately, right now. Um, but so, what would be the number one thing that you would advise? You kind of gone along with it, but the number one thing you would advise people on trying to get up into the oil field, whether Texas, New Mexico, North Dakota, any of it, what would be like the number one thing if they took anything from this conversation?
On how to get a job is what you're asking?
Yeah, and in the oil field.
Okay. Um, right now, kind of how I was saying, I think it's a bad time to drive out here. I know you can drive out here and get a
Hmm.
job, right? In Texas, at least, I'll say that. I think North Dakota, you probably have a better chance because, from what I hear, I've never been up there nor talked to people. Like a lot of people go back to Texas for the winter time because of how harsh it is up there. So,
Yeah.
I feel like you're able to get a job now or then. But coming to Texas right now, like again, like I said, all the bosses are going to be gone. HR is going to thinking about Christmas, so the point of hiring at this point, the point of hiring is not the first thing on their mind. I feel like beginning of the year, everybody's gonna be refreshed. You're starting a new year, so you
But
turn
just
to
in general, I mean, not necessarily like today, but
oh, okay.
like, just in general,
Oh,
because it is a little slow right now, but
right,
just,
right.
let's say next spring it picks up and somebody comes across this episode
Gotcha.
and they're like, oh, okay, boom, he said this, I'm going to try it.
Okay. No, I would say definitely drive out here if it's not too far. If you can afford it, for sure. Definitely drive out here, start
Mhm.
knocking on doors. But when I do say drive out here, I say put applications out at least first, and then maybe put out 50, 60 plus, maybe even up to 100. That way your chances are better. You're not coming out here for no reason.
Going to
And
have a
maybe,
destination with some
yes,
with some side quests.
yes, sir. Yeah. Uh, and maybe you can line it up to where it lands on a job fair. And like I said, I'm kind of, I've said that job fairs aren't helping people too much, but maybe you can hit the job fair, you can hit some interviews, you can go knock on those doors, physically get your resumes out and drop them off, see if you can talk to somebody. Maybe somebody's needing a hand, or maybe they're willing to give you a shot. You know what I mean? That's how we all started. Somebody was willing to give us a shot,
Yeah. And it does, unfortunately, with this industry, it does sometimes seem like it's who you know more than what you know.
for sure.
But also in this industry, it's like they want you to put that work in more than any other industry that I've ever been a part of.
Right.
They want, you gotta put the work in to try and get all these different companies, they have all these openings and stuff, but they gotta see a little bit of effort from you,
Right.
because I think it's maybe because of the kind of work we do. They're kind of gauging you out, you know, before you even start, just to see how dedicated you are and stuff. But
No, I completely 100% agree with that. Again, these companies don't want to hire a bum, right, and pay them a lot of money because then
hmm
you're wasting their time, and then you can put people's lives in danger, right? Because we work with crazy stuff out here that can just
hmm
kill you in an instant, and you wouldn't even know about it.
yeah, I saw a video of yours that you talked about how people are demanding, right off the get. They're like, I want a rotation, I want per diem, I want
Mhm.
this, I want that. And it's like, what have you done for that company for them to give? Sometimes we have guys come out, and this company, they're like, so these are your days off, but you got to work the whole month before you get those days off
Right?
you know and so you got to have an open mindset
Yes.
of putting the work in before you get the reward.
No, I agree, and like I said, I kind of hate. I know people come from different parts of the state, but I don't think you should be demanding stuff right out the gate. Get what they give you. I mean, you have to embrace the suck. How I said, like, it's not good at first. I was making $16, right? Now I'm at 52. Like, I probably never thought. I think I was gonna be comfortable around 35. Like, I wanted just to double my money, and be okay hourly. But it went beyond that, man. And I think it's just beyond. It's just me cutting grass when they gave me a shot, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna cut grass every single day, and I was fine with that. And then eventually it transitioned into something better. I wasn't demanding like, I want a company vehicle. Can you pay for my gas, traveling back and forth, blah blah blah. I was just, whatever you give me, I'll take it.
Yeah, dude, I had this guy that I worked with years ago, and he was an operator, and he was good, and but he was ready for that next step. He wanted to be a pusher.
Oh,
And I'm not kidding you, dude. He emailed all of the investors, everybody involved up
oh,
top. And he said, I want this, I want this, I want this, and I want a new rig. And we're like, what? No. So, I say they said that, but, it's just like people demand out here is crazy.
right.
Like, be a little humble, but at the same time, know your worth. And,
Yes,
go for it. Because sometimes out here as well, if you just sit on it and don't say anything, they're not going to give you anything more because they're like, we got him. We know what he's capable of. Why pay him more? Or why promote him? We got a hell of a hand. Why do we want to promote him? Because, truth be told, unfortunately, sometimes these companies do think like that, I think.
yes, sir.
But,
Yep.
yeah.
No, and
But,
that's like
yeah.
what I was
So,
saying, man. Oh, sorry.
oh, no, go ahead.
About knowing your worth for sure, man. Like I said, I think they hired a new guy and they paid him a little bit more than what I was paying or what I was getting paid. And I had 3 years on the guy, 2 years on the guy. So at that, I was like, man, what the hell? This guy literally knows zero experience about the oil field. I can at least do the minimum, like pigging and stuff like that. And they're paying him the same or more than me. So that's when I went to my boss and I was like, hey, like I didn't twist his arm or nothing like that. I just talked to him nice, like a person, and just saying, hey, man, I think I deserve a raise because y'all are hiring this guy with no experience, and I have years on the guy. And he was just like, hey, yeah, we'll get to it when we get to it. Like raises are coming. You should be able to get a good one. And nothing ever came from that. So I ended up going to his boss, and I ended up getting a raise. Long story short, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, sometimes you got to go after it. I've always been like, I don't want to ask for raises because
Right.
it's like I I want them to see the value in me to give me that raise. But sometimes, I mean, I've had to ask for a raise or two because it's just like, dude, I know my worth and you're
Yep.
not paying it right now, and so sometimes you do got to go after it. But
Heck yeah.
yeah. So I mean, what do you think about this whole TikTok thing, man? How's that going for you?
Man, it's been fun. I like when people reach out to me and offer free stuff. Like Brunt just shipped me some boots. I'm gonna do a video on that. I'm gonna do a month long test on it first before I give my honest review. I don't want to
Yeah,
say
right off the
something good,
get.
right? Yeah, you know what I mean. And just everybody hit me up. I think it's cool, man. I'm networking like crazy. People have actually offered me jobs. They're like, hey, if you have anything ever goes wrong with where you're at, hit me up. I think that's awesome too. It's a little bit of a job security thing in a way. I guess I can jump ship if I ever wanted to, and be okay. I feel like so it's been fun. It's been benefiting me more than I ever thought it would. I thought I was gonna be just 2,000 followers at most or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's crazy, dude. It's when I first started. So the whole reason I started is my fiance has TikTok, and she was making videos, and I wanted to watch them. But I used to not. I used to hate TikTok,
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah,
because of all the stuff behind the scenes of what they say they do and stuff. And I was
right.
just like, I do not support that. But she was making these videos, and it got slow out here, and so I was like, whatever. I want to watch her videos at least, so I downloaded the damn app, and I made my first latching video and got like 1,000 views right off the get, and I was like, oh, that was pretty easy. And so then I started making videos, and dude, next thing I know, did like my first big video. I recorded my operator driving back into town, and he was singing Pink Pony Club. You know that
Yeah,
song?
yeah.
Yeah, and it was like POV driving home from a day on the rig. That was like my fourth video I posted, got 10,000 views or something.
Oh, damn. Okay.
And I was like, damn, so the oil field niche is pretty good.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's crazy, dude. So this hat, Northern Oilfield Solutions, the manager reached out to me, and I wear their sticker on my hard hat. And he's like, "Hey, man, just for wearing our sticker on your hard hat, I got some stuff for you." Dude gave me this freaking insulated Arctic
Holy
cooler.
crap, bro, that is
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah, and it had like a bunch of swag and stuff in it, but
Hell yeah.
it's just crazy. And then recently I just started talking with Bomber Eyewear. Have you seen them?
Yeah, I've been seeing them. Yes.
Dude, those glasses.
Really.
And it's not even just because I'm selling them now, but
Right.
they're badass, dude. I have the smoke bombs, and you know how typically, unless they're, oh gosh, where it switches from light to dark,
Oh yeah.
photochronic or something,
Yeah. Photo. Yeah.
and you have to switch between clears and darks.
Right.
Dude, these glasses are dark, and day and night I can wear the same glasses.
Damn. Okay. I might need to get some of those
Yeah.
then.
Yeah, no, it's wild, dude. But and then I'm gonna do a video with them. See, I give my ideas away on this damn thing. So I guess if people listen along, they'll have a sneak peek. But I got it cleared with them. I'm gonna run over a pair of them with the loader
Okay.
because the dude says that they'll last it.
Oh, I don't
So
know.
I've seen it, dude. I've seen some glasses that last.
Okay.
So we'll see. Um, but yeah, no, it's just the companies that are willing to work with you just because you have a little bit of a view is pretty cool. Like I don't pay for FRs anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, I haven't paid for FRs in about 3 or 4 months now.
I need to get on that level, man.
Dude, you passed me on. Well, so the thing is like it's the TikToks and the the followers and the views, because it's
Right.
like everybody's like, oh, your view count's down, but if you're like, your views are up here, you're not just feeding videos for your following count, you're going well past that and
Right.
stuff. But,
Right.
yeah, no, I've noticed those 7-second little like comedy ones are they're like
That's where it's
magnets,
at, man. That's where you get your 100,000 views, 200, and like even just pictures posted like a swipe, one swipe, and everybody's like, "What the hell?" And get
right?
100,000 views on that. It's crazy, man.
Oh, dude, I have this one that has like 750,000 views. It's just
Yeah,
like a
your Harry Potter
Harry
one.
Potter. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that one cracked me up. But yeah. So do you have like any plans on like taking your TikTok? I guess like converting it into like something different, like real money
Yes.
versus just off of TikTok. Because get the following and then you can turn it into something real.
Yeah. So I'm actually I don't know if I want to give it away yet because I don't know if it's gonna come to fruition, but it's
If you don't want to give it away, that's all good.
I'll be a little bit in the gray on or very minimal on it. So me and a big TikToker, you know him, we've been talking about doing a. I want to do it personally to where we can invite people to like a place or like have our own like if I had an extra room in my house, make it a studio, invite people over, talk about finances on YouTube. This would be on YouTube because that's where you make your money. It'd be a longer format, right? And just talk about like real oil field money, like not just us on the deal or on our screens. Just show it like everybody's money, even if it's a roustabout guy making $20 an hour, but he's making $100,000 a year, or even if it's somebody at Sonic or McDonald's out here pays
Yeah,
more
they're
than
interested in making their
than
money work for them.
right, right. Just showing how much more you make out here compared to elsewhere in a way, and just being transparent with everything. A lot of people aren't going to want to do it, but we can find those people, I think.
So like a conference style type thing, or
Yeah, kind of like in my head, I was thinking like a Joe Rogan in a way, but with us two on one side and the guest on the opposite side, and just kind of asking questions. Kind of, yeah,
oh, okay,
yeah,
yeah. Well, I think we're all wanting the Joe Rogan experience,
yeah. All
but
right, right.
but yeah, no, dude, I've wanted a podcast for years now, but the first one I started was Garage Bros, and it was
Okay.
literally me and a buddy in my garage. That's where we came up with the name. And we did one episode, and then the dude kind of flaked, and that was that. But at that point, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how I was going to do it. And now I've gotten, a little bit of a following on TikTok. So now I can use that to kind of build something,
Right.
because I have a list of people that I've reached out, including you. And like 90% of the people are like totally down because they know about my content and stuff, which is, I mean, truly humbling because it's just, we're just normal dudes.
Exactly.
But, everybody's like, dude, I love your content. This is, it's crazy when, you hear people say like, my content resonates with people, but it is interesting when you actually make shit that people give a fuck about,
Yeah.
you know. It is pretty cool to get into that realm. But yeah. So, and you also talk about, investing, buying homes and all that stuff. So where did you learn all that stuff? Because for the most part, like they don't teach that stuff in high school, you know what I mean? They just like teach you how to be an employee and that's it.
No, for sure. I think it was. I think it started at a young age. Honestly, how cliched it sounds, but I didn't have like the nicest house. Like I didn't really want to invite my friends over just because my friends had like nice houses and I had like a rundown house, and I was always knowing I wanted better, and I knew this from a young age. Like we had window units in every single house that we were ever in. We had a gas stove for everything to warm the whole house, and I just knew that's once I made money, I knew this is not how I wanted to live. No fault to my parents because now I think it's easier for us to learn like about investing, like
Oh,
our
well, we
our age
got
group.
this kind of
Right,
stuff.
right,
They didn't have that
exactly,
back in the day.
exactly, and that's why I put no blame on my parents. But I mean, some people were able to do it at the same time. But again, no blame to them. Um, so I knew I didn't want that from a young age, man. And then as soon as I started making money, I was never done with it. I knew I hated debt for sure. I dropped out of college because I was going to be in like $100,000 worth of debt, but I was just going to be a teacher, so I probably would have never paid that off in my lifetime. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So,
Yeah.
and then when I got in the oil field, luckily, God willingly, um, I was working with a millionaire mentor. He was my coworker, but he'd always tell me, "You need to invest. You don't need to be stupid. If you're gonna work all these years, why are you gonna work until you die and have nothing, or work all the way to the end and have nothing and never enjoy life?" And
Hmm.
it always stuck with me. Never listened to him because I was a young guy. And then eventually, years later, I was like, "Man, I really need to start putting money up." And it's been good so far. I've been getting a good return on investment. Been buying houses, and man, I don't know. I've been very fortunate.
Yeah. So do you recommend like real estate or stocks or like one over the other?
Man, this is gonna make me sound like too young of a guy, but in all honesty, man, if I could buy Bitcoin and just be all right, it would be a much less headache of having to deal with tenants and all that. But
Yeah.
but my tenants are great, 100% they're great. But I know maybe down the line when they move out and somebody else moves in, it's probably not gonna be as easy as what it is right now. And like I said, real estate's not really too passive. I do recommend it to everybody if you love it. I love it. But if anything breaks, something leaks, you have to get it fixed almost immediately because there's a family living in there, right? You can't
Yeah.
just leave it for weeks on end, stuff like that. So it's very fun. It's a good place to park your money and make a little bit coming in, and then in the end just sell it and you'll be all right. It's a good way to park your money, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, dude. So I was thinking, like me, you, Cody, and Jorge. I thought it'd be funny because we all kind of like pop out. And we all bullshit with each other. It'd
Right.
be fun to like jump down to Texas or somewhere and all go like bird hunting or hog hunting or something.
Hey, that'd be sick, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Get in the
I
helicopter.
thought about what's that,
Get in the helicopter, shoot some hogs. Have you seen that in
dude. I've
Amarillo? I
been
think they
wanting
have
to do that so
it.
bad.
Right?
Yeah, I saw a video the other day where this dude was advertising it, and then we talked about it in Doghouse the other day. Have you ever done that?
Never, never have.
Oh man, he says like you get up in the helicopter and these hogs just start running and they just like line up and they just tell you to just start unloading on them.
Damn, that is
Yeah,
insane, man.
yeah. So where did you start in the oil field?
So I started with a small mom and pop. They were out of Teague, Texas,
Hmm.
and they weren't big at all, man. And luckily they were under a big company, and and I was just cutting weeds. Like I said, I was literally at an old plant. They said we need you guys to clean up this plant, and it was just weeds. We were cutting weeds every single day, and luckily down the line it transitioned into pigging, which is a very entry level job out here pipeline wise, and I was able to hop on and grow from there. That is where I started. Roustabout
Yeah,
to pigging.
dude. I've learned though that pigging can be very dangerous.
It can be.
We had a guy up here in North Dakota. He just passed away a while ago. He
Really?
was doing something like that, and it popped out and hit him in the face.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Yeah, when
but
it's cold, you don't really want to be pigging. That is probably one of the worst
no, that
times.
was before
Oh, okay,
before it got cold. But
gotcha, gotcha.
dude, you know what's so funny is is it cold? What is it down there?
79 right now.
So what is cold to you?
Cold is 25, 30, and yeah.
That's awesome, dude. It was 29 degrees the other day, and I was in a hoodie and jeans.
Oh hell no, couldn't do it, man.
You'd be all jacketed up, right?
Yes, 100%, 100%.
Yeah, no, we had a dude coming out running rig, and he was in Vikings pants and a jacket and a face mask, and it's like, bro, you were gonna. I mean, granted, they kind of just stand there a little bit more than the hands do,
Okay.
but like, no. But have you ever heard of Under Armour, like 4.0s, like the base layer?
Yes, it's something that the army. I've seen it. I don't have them though.
So for you, it would be like 2.0s would be all you need, but like 4.0s, dude, you can be up here in -50, not moving around with like 4.0s, like a hoodie and a jacket, and be fine.
Really,
Yeah.
I need to check those out because man, I
Yeah.
literally hate the cold. Like I'm not gonna be outside my truck if it's cold.
Yeah. So now Cody, he talks about like he has an early plan to exit. So like, do you have like a exit plan of the oil field, or are you kind of career guy, or are you gonna be
I
the next landman?
I don't know, man. Honestly, Cody putting that out there that he's gonna try to retire at 35, which I have 100% full faith in the guy. It's just like, man, I'm 6 years away from 35. I don't know if I can do it, but Cody's started a lot earlier
Is
than
he
me.
younger than how
Yeah,
old are you?
he's
You
20. I'm 29.
okay?
He just turned 26, I believe. Yeah,
Oh, okay. So he's still yeah. I'm 33, so
right.
I'm not gonna make it by then. But
Yeah, no. It just kind of put in my head. I was like, man, I need to find a retirement age. Like, I never really thought about that. I just kind of thought about just kind of going on and
65.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Probably I was hoping like 55, right? Have
Hmm.
all my retirement good and stuff like that because I don't think I want to work at the age of 60, but things happen. I understand.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure, man. I don't have it in my head, but I'm gonna find it this next year. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, dude, we got some guys that are still on the rigs that are like 50s, 60s, and I'm like, yeah, right, dude. Like, I don't know what wrong path you took down life that has you on a rig. Because I'm not even saying like no to the oil field at that age. I mean, me personally, I mean, I'm just so far away from my family. I'm trying to get some money up here, figure it out, and go. I want to be back home. And my fiance, she lives up in Canada. She's immigrating
Oh,
here, so
damn. Okay.
when yeah. So we met a
Wow.
couple years ago in Vegas,
Okay.
and just hit it right off the bat. So I tell her all the time. I joke with her. At this point, I'd rather you just live in New York than because like we only live. So when I live in Idaho, and she's where she's at, we're like 7, 8 hours from each other. So it's
Okay.
not. I mean, it's kind of far, but it's not terrible.
Right.
But it's across the damn border, and so
Right.
it makes it hard to move forward with everything. But we're getting the steps going to change that. But
Heck yeah.
um, yeah, if I was like a local guy, I could maybe do this long term, but like it's just I don't know. But you guys have opened my eyes that there's so much more up here than the rigs. The rigs is what got me up here, but
Exactly.
there's so much other stuff up here that you can make the same, if not way more money
Right.
with way
And
less work.
I think the reason I say I don't have a really an age on which I want to be out of here and be okay is because like right now I'm just sitting in my truck. I'm getting paid for it. Like
Yeah,
if a unit goes down, I'm just gonna go blow it down and press a button and get it right back on. It's not really too physical.
exactly.
It can be, but it's not every single day throwing tongs or being up in a derrick, right? So
But you
that's
go
what I
home
like.
every night, right?
Exactly. I'm home every single night.
Hmm.
So I mean, I don't know. It's great
Yeah.
money.
So do you and Cody do the same thing or similar?
Exact same thing. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So it's funny, yeah, that he wants to get out of it so early when it's like you kind of got it made, bro.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm saying, man. Like I don't know. It's so chill.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so are you on a schedule or Monday through Friday?
I'm on a 10 days on, 4 off.
Oh, okay. That's
So
not bad.
it's just a long 5 and 2. That's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then the hard part is if you have a normal job, you get like 2 days off and then you work your five, and it's like that's never enough time to do
Exactly.
anything. Like this 20 and 10 schedule, the 20 days is a long stretch, don't get me wrong. Now, granted, for the last year I've had weekends off, so it's like I'm not really working in 20 and 10. I'm away from my family for 20 days, but I don't work 20 days straight. But yeah, the 10 days off is a blessing in itself because you can go anywhere in the world if you want with that amount
Right.
of time.
Exactly. And then you could take another 7 and you'd be off 17 days off, or whatever you want
Yeah,
to take off. You know what I
exactly.
mean?
Oh, you could play it, dude, where it's like when you build up your PTO, dude, you could take the entire month of February off,
Hell yeah.
you know. But it's got its bonuses for sure. I wish that I would have started younger, like
Right.
right out of high school, and then been smart with money. I'd be, a completely different position
Right.
right now. But
100%.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, would you recommend people to come out here?
Yes, yes, I would. If you're gonna just play around with college and just go and party and drink and that's all you want to do, that's fine. But it's gonna kind of hurt you in the long run because those years you could be making 80,000. You know what I mean? Instead of going in more debt for, I don't know, being a teacher like I was gonna be. Love my
Yeah.
teachers for sure. We need teachers, but
What do you
I
want to
just
teach?
I want to be history. I love history, man.
I knew you were a history
I
buff. You look
love
like a
history, man.
history teacher.
Yeah, man. I don't know why I love it, but like right now, if you ask me any history question, I probably couldn't tell you. But if you start talking about it, I'd jump right on the train. Like, oh yeah, this and this and this.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, what's the rest of your day looking like?
Man, I'm just sitting here. I just barely got this station on. I got to get some more readings, but it's nothing too crazy. And then I'm
Yeah.
going home. It's all overtime for me today. I'm trying to put in 12 hours and 12 or 13 hours. I'm trying to make it $1,000 a day.
Oh, nice. Hell
Yeah,
yeah. So, are you a W-2 or are you a
W-2, yes sir. Yeah.
yeah. So, what do you feel about W-2 versus like contracting? Have you done a contract job?
No, when I was a contractor, I was also a W-2, so I've never been 1099 or anything like that. So I couldn't
Mm,
tell you. I see people say there's a big benefit in it, but I've just never done it, so I really couldn't give my opinion on
yeah.
it, I guess.
Yeah, no, I've got an opportunity coming up that's going to be 1099.
Okay, heck yeah.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting. I've never done it, so I'll have to do like a bunch of research and learning how to do it the right way, because everybody talks about like write-offs and stuff that you can
Right,
help, you know,
right.
with the tax advantage and stuff. And so what do you think about that tax-free overtime and how it's
Man,
not really what they promised?
right. Yeah, I was just talking about that today, man. I was saying I understand it's not what it is. It sounded better at first, but I will take whatever tax break I can get. I'll take it.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
Oh, absolutely.
That's
As long
exactly.
as we're eligible for it, right?
Yes,
I was almost to the understanding that if you make a certain amount of money that's not like much more than we make, if any, that you're not eligible for it.
I got you. I thought from what I was seeing, what was I seeing? That everybody, not everybody, but maybe I don't know. Hopefully I'm eligible, right? Because I'm gonna make 200 this year.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I thought it was gonna be for everybody in a way, but I could see what you're saying on that.
Yeah. Well, and then he just came out with some checks that he's sending out to people, the military people, but then also I think it's if you make under 90,000,
Really?
you're going to get a check from them as well from all the tariffs and stuff. But
Yeah,
not going to be eligible for something like that. But
yeah. It's a blessing and a
yeah,
curse when you make a lot of money, right?
what's that?
It's a blessing and a curse when you make a lot of money.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, so the thing is, as long as you're smart with your money, it's a blessing. But
Yes,
there's
for sure.
people up here that could really use that check, but it's kind of at their fault. I mean, there's no reason that you're making the kind of money we have and not having anything set up for yourself. And even like like people buying homes or whatever. But I know dudes that are toyed up to the eyeballs,
Ooh.
and I mean, they ask me to borrow money to go to the gas station.
No, that is insane, man. I like that's what I tell people when they come out here for sure. You can make a lot of money, but it doesn't matter where you're at. If you spend it everywhere, you're in the same boat as you not making a lot of money. You know what I mean? And I see the same thing about people being toyed up. How you're saying it takes one downturn for all that to go back. One downturn,
Yep.
literally. And
For you not
and
to have it anymore.
right, and it
Yeah.
happens. And you're gonna dig yourself a hole, and hopefully you don't have to foreclose on your house or anything uh, catastrophic. Maybe
Yeah.
your truck goes away. Hopefully, your house doesn't go away, but it can happen. I've seen it plenty of times, man.
Well, they say most people are one bad month away from being homeless,
Yes,
which
100%.
I said, you know, and I've always said, like, you know, through the years when people have gone back and forth about wages and demanded the wage increase and this and that, America doesn't have a wage issue, in my opinion. Doesn't
Okay,
have a wage issue. We have a money management issue. And what
I
I
agree.
mean by that is, yes, I think that, maybe we could get paid a little bit more, how inflation and stuff goes. But it doesn't, like you just touched on, it doesn't matter how much money somebody can make, they're always going to be broke. There could be a person that makes $30,000 a month or $30,000 a year that's broke. That same person give them 250,000 years or $250,000 a year, they're still going to be broke
Right,
because it's
100%.
the mindset game.
Exactly. That's all it is.
They don't know how to work with money, and it's sometimes at no fault of their own. They just weren't raised to respect money.
Exactly, exactly. Like if you're handling a lot of stuff, and this is what I tell my wife. I'm like, man, my kids have it great. They're gonna be okay. They're not gonna want for anything, but they're not gonna be rich. Me and you are gonna be rich because we're the ones with the money, and we're gonna help them as much as we can. And if worst come to worst, um, we'll help, like I said, we'll help them where we can. But I'm not gonna be sitting there giving them $1,000 every single month just because they're bad with
Yeah.
their bills. It's kind of like feeding an addict heroin when they don't need it, right?
Exactly. Well, you can set up, like chores. You
Right.
do a chore, I pay you for that. Or, there's ways to give them money, but they learn to respect money
Yes, 100%.
because, everybody talks about wanting to set their children up, which also I have a daughter and I would like to get her set up in a sense, but you want to do it in a way that they respect money and that when it comes time to have their own money, they're not like caught off guard or they don't respect money because if you don't make your money work for you, your money's going to work you.
Yeah, exactly, 100% on that one, man.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of Dave Ramsey?
Actually, that's kind of what I got. I think my mindset kind of clicked in that sense,
Yeah.
and I have a lot of free time in the truck, so I could just listen to them and drive or just whatever I'm doing. And I think that's helped me a lot because you hear all the people calling and they're like, "I'm $800,000 in debt and I make $30,000 a year."
Dude.
I'm like, "What the fuck?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Man," I was like, "Crap." I was like, and it's like something it clicks in your head like, "Man, I don't want to be like that." These guys are like crying on the phone in front of millions of people, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Man, they seem so like helpless or stuff like that, man." It's crazy. I love Dave
Right.
Ramsey though.
Beans, and rice, brother.
That's it, man. That's it.
It's hard though. I mean, it's like when you get access to that new money, if you don't know what you're doing, it's hard to control it, you know? And it's like it leaves you just as fast as you get it.
Exactly.
But before I came out here, I'd never had any type of savings because I couldn't. I just didn't. I wasn't smart. I didn't have, the job versus the bills that would allow me to put away like that. And the level of ease that I've felt from having that cushion. So like a couple months ago, I left my current employer, went to a new job, and shit went down with that, and I had to go back to
Oh,
my current employer now.
right.
And well, I was in the derrick and it got crowned out, and they let the operator and me and my roommate go because they brought in a new operator and he had his own guys. Let me tell you what, dude, being on top of a rig when it gets crowned out, that's an experience.
And that's the tong, or what would that be?
So
The
so the crown is the top of the rig.
right.
Yeah, and we're pulling it up, and for whatever reason, he just lost where he was at, and boom.
So it's supposed to stop
So
at a certain point, but it just kept going, and it
yes,
hit.
sir. Yeah. So you
Oh,
bring
okay.
out. So a stand is two joints, and
Okay.
so you have two collars,
Right.
and so you see the first collar, and then the second collar comes up, and it's right about that second collar where you stop.
Okay.
And typically, yeah, he just lost where he was at. I don't know what happened exactly, but thankfully nobody got hurt or anything.
Right.
But anyway, so I came back, but I took a little bit of time to think, and actually, what I got going on next, I found in that time
Okay.
that I was able to just chill. and but I had money saved away. And so, don't get me wrong, I still had a little bit of a sense of urgency and a little stress because I didn't know where my next check was coming from. But to be able to just take that, I think it was 3 weeks, a month, where I didn't have to make money and I was fine, it was
Right.
a blessing.
Oh yeah.
You know, because before oil field, oh, I would have been screwed. I would have been hitting up my dad, yo, please. But yeah. So I mean, that's just the thing. If anybody takes anything from this, is just be smart with your money because
100%.
it'll get you a lot farther than not.
100%.
But yeah. All right, brother. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, man.
I got you, man.
Um, so I got one more thing for you. I kind of ask everybody this. If there was one thing that you could tell your 10-year-old self that you know now to tell him back then, what would it be?
Man. uh, man, I don't know. Hold on, let me think real quick.
I hit you with that one, but
I don't know. I'm good at saving money, so that's good there. I would say buy Bitcoin, but I don't want to give you that answer.
I don't know if Bitcoin was around by then yet.
Yeah, it's been around since 2011.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think real quick. Man, maybe invest more. Invest more. I would say
Yeah.
that.
Start sooner.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm great at investing and I'm good, but if I could have started 10 years earlier, I'd be way better off than what I am, even though it's like a 4 year difference from then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Hell yeah, brother. Well, where can everybody find you?
At On TikTok, I'm only on TikTok right now. Eli the oil guy or Eli Keep Drilling. I'm on there. I only have one page,
Yeah. So I was gonna. Have you been getting imposter pages or what?
just one. I think it got deleted yesterday. Yesterday though, TikTok sent me an email. I think it did, but I can't tell. He blocked me, so I have to wait for somebody to tell me if he got deleted
That's
or not.
great. But that's flattering, though.
It really is. I'm doing something good, I guess, right?
Yeah, that somebody wanted to replicate and make money off of you for free.
Right?
All right, brother. Well, guys, this has been another episode of Off the Clock with Powder Slayer. Until next time, peace.